You must therefore proceed beyond the court to extend our most earnest invitation to Elder Sun to come and examine our illness. When you see him, you must be careful not to treat him discourteously. You must address him as Elder Sun, the divine monk, and you must greet him as if he were your ruler." Having received this decree, the various officials went with the eunuchs and the palace guards to the College of Interpreters. Standing in rows, according to their ranks, they paid homage to Pilgrim. 8 Rules was so taken aback that he dashed inside a side room, while Sha Monk ran out to stand beneath the wall. "Look at our great sage. He sat firmly in the middle of the room and remained unmoved. This wretched ape," grumbled 8 Rules to himself, "is hanging himself alive with all these undeserved honors. How could he not return the bow of these many officials? Why, he won't even stand up." Soon the ceremony was over, and the officials separated into 2 files before they presented this memorial, saying, "Let us inform Elder Sun, the divine monk, that we are the subjects of the king of the Scarlet Purple Kingdom. By royal decree, we come to honor the divine monk with due reverence and ceremony. We beseech you to enter the court and examine a patient." Only then did Pilgrim stand up and say to them, "Why didn't your king come here?" "Because his body is weakened and his strength depleted," replied the officials. "Our king dares not ride the chariot. He has commanded us subjects to observe this ceremony on his behalf and invite you, the divine monk." "In that case," said Pilgrim, "please lead the way, all of you, and I'll follow." The various officials departed in groups, in accordance with their ranks, while Pilgrim walked behind them after having tidied his clothes. "Elder brother," said 8 Rules, "don't you put us up to anything now." "I won't," said Pilgrim. "But I want you two to accept the medicines for me." "What medicines?" asked Sha Monk. "There will be some medicines sent to us," said Pilgrim. "Accept them in the quantities that they are delivered. I'll make use of them when I return." The 2 of them agreed, and we shall leave them for the moment. Our Pilgrim soon arrived at court with the many officials, who walked ahead to report to the king. As the pearly screen was rolled up, the king opened his phoenix eyes and dragon pupils to look at his visitor and his golden mouth to say, "Who is the divine monk, Elder Sun?" Taking a big step forward, Pilgrim said in a loud voice, "Old Monkey's the one." When the king heard this savage voice and encountered the bizarre countenance, he shook so violently that he fell back onto the dragon couch. Those harem girls and palace attendants hurriedly had him borne inside the palace, and all the king could say was, "We are scared to death." All the officials began to chide Pilgrim, saying, "How could this monk be so rude and impetuous? How could you be so audacious as to take down the proclamation?" Hearing these words, Pilgrim smiled and said, "All of you have wrongly taken umbrage at me. If that's how you treat people, the illness of your king won't be cured for another 1,000 years. "How long can a man live?" asked the officials. "That he should be ill for 1,000 years. Pilgrim said, "That man at the moment is a sick ruler. After he dies, he'll be a sick ghost. Even in the next incarnation, he will still be a sick man. Isn't it true, then, that he won't be cured for 1,000 years? Growing angry, the officials said, "Monk, you have absolutely no manners. How dare you mouth such nonsense?" "That's no nonsense," replied Pilgrim with a laugh. "Listen to what I have to say. Most mysterious is the physician's art. His mind must ever be alert and keen. To look, listen, ask, and take, these 4 things. If one is missing, his craft's not complete. 1. We look at the patient's complexion. Is it moist, dry, fat, or thin, in waking or sleep? 2. We listen for clear or turbid voice, when he speaks lucid or frenetic words. 3. We ask for the ailment's cause and length. 4. How he eats, drinks, and eliminates. 4. We scan the conduits by taking the pulse, to learn how submerged or floating in and out. If we do not look, listen, ask, and take, In this life his ailment will ne'er him forsake. Amid those 2 rows of military and civil officials standing in attendance, there was the royal physician who, when he heard these words, spoke up with great approbation. What this monk says, he said, is most reasonable. Even an immortal examining a patient must look, listen, ask, and take. These very activities accord well with the efficacy of gods and sages. Persuaded by this statement, the officials asked a palace attendant to send in the message. The elder would like to exercise the principles of looking, listening, asking, and taking before he could diagnose the illness and prescribe the medicine. Lying on his dragon bed, the king gasped out his answer. Tell him to go away. We can't bear to see an unfamiliar face. The attendant walked out of the palace and said, Monk, our king decrees you to leave, for he can't bear to see an unfamiliar face. If he can't do so, replied Pilgrim, I know that art of dangling a thread to take the pulse. The various officials were secretly pleased, saying to themselves, We have heard of this rare technique, but we have never seen it. They said to the attendant, Go and memorialize once more. Again the attendant went inside the palace to say, My lord, if that elder is not permitted to see your face, he can dangle a thread to take the pulse. The king thought to himself, We have been sick for 3 years, but we've never tried this. He therefore gave the reply, Summon him in. Immediately the attendant transmitted the message. Our Lord has given him the permission to take the pulse by dangling a thread. Summon Elder Sun quickly into the palace. Pilgrim at once started to ascend the treasure hall, only to be met by the scolding of Tang Monk. Wretched ape! He cried. You've injured me. Smiling, Pilgrim said, Dear master, I have put you in the limelight. How could you say that I've injured you? Which person did you manage to cure? Shouted Tripitaka. During these few years you've been following me. You don't even know the nature of medicines, nor have you read any medical texts. How could you be so audacious as to rush into this big calamity? Laughing, Pilgrim said, Master, you didn't know about this. I know a few herbal prescriptions which can cure even grave illnesses. All they care is that I heal him. But even if I kill him, all I'll be guilty of is merely manslaughter because of medical incompetence. I won't be executed. Why are you so worried? Relax. Relax. Take a seat and see if I'm any good at taking the pulse. The elder again said, Have you ever seen what sort of sentences there are in the Candid Questions, the classic of medical problems, the pharmacopoeias, and the formulas of the pulse? Do you know their proper gloss and exegesis? How could you babble like this about some dangling the thread to take the pulse? Laughing, Pilgrim said, I carry with me some threads of gold which you have never seen. He reached back with his hand and pulled off 3 strands of hair from his tail. Giving them a pinch, he cried, Change. They changed at once into 3 threads, each 24 feet long and thus corresponding to the 24 solar terms. Holding them in his hands, he said to the Tang monk, Aren't these my golden threads? The attending eunuch spoke up from the side. Let the elders refrain from further conversation. Please enter the palace to examine the patient. Taking leave of the Tang monk, Pilgrim followed the attendant to walk inside the palace. Truly it was that. The mind's secret prescription can heal a state. Its wondrous formula will assure long life. After he had gone inside, we do not know what sort of illness he was able to discern or what kind of medicines he prescribed. If you want to know the result, let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter.